This is the Global Speakers Advantage podcast where we are bringing voices from all around the world, spotlighting them and showcasing them. And of course, I am your host for today, and our mission is to connect voices in every corner of the world to help them stretch out and bring out the life in them so the other people in other parts of the world can be able to be of blessings to such voices. We see you, believe in you, and you're welcome. Today with me, I have a very special guest, and it's not any other person but the one and only Dr. Nsalah Power. Hello, Doc. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Oliver Shom. It's a pleasure to be here on this podcast with you.
Great. We're so glad to have you. So, for those who listening to us right now, especially those who are just tuning on, what are the three things we expect them to leave this conversation with, please?
The first thing is I'm a medical doctor and I'm a
Mhm.
holistic natural healer. I guide and inspire people to give their bodies a chance to heal and
Mhm.
restore a healthy heart using only four natural resources without medications and supplements. So I'm all about healing
Mhm.
and letting the body do its job, which it was designed to do.
I love that. Okay, so if you're listening to us right now, you're not strong in your health. Just know that by the end of this conversation, somehow you find a solution. Yeah, it may not be exactly what you're expecting, but you have an idea of how you can live a better and a healthy life. So, welcome, Dr. Sideline. You're not only a medical doctor and into holistic healing, but you are also a professional keynote speaker. So, tell us your journey into medicine. When did that start?
So I had a very long journey. I remember when I was young
Mm-hmm.
and small, I never loved taking medications. I
Mm,
remember when I'm sick, my mother would actually force me to take medications. In
mm,
Africa, malaria is a very common disease, and many children die of malaria.
mhm,
So whenever I have malaria, I'll literally be forced to take medications. Sometimes my mother would wrap these medications inside of food so that I can swallow the food and not feel that I took medications. So I've
mm,
always had something against medications when since I was small, and something was burning inside me that I would love for medications to taste like food. What if
mhm,
medications tasted like food? And and I told myself that someday I'm going to find a way to make medications taste like food. If I love food so much and I don't like the taste of medication, which always made me to throw up and the rest, I would certainly have to find a way. So luckily, I'll say by the grace of God,
mhm.
I had the mental resources to be able to go through in my education, and I gained admission into medical school and went through my medical studies. And I eventually found myself in a situation where I was basically powerless to fulfill that my childhood dream. I saw that as a medical doctor, I could absolutely change nothing about the medical system and how medications are. And so, due to certain circumstances which happened in my life, which I will likely share in the course of the program, it forced me to explore the holistic natural path. And as I began to explore this holistic natural path, I realized that just with four natural resources which are freely available, we can be healthy, we can be strong, we can avoid many of the health conditions that people face. And I began to dive into it. And here we are today, helping people, hundreds, thousands of people who are able to be inspired by my message, and they're able to bring out transformation in their health and restore their health from many chronic illnesses.
Oh, I love that. Great job, bro. So many people go to medical schools. When they graduate, they work in hospitals. Mostly at times when it's a government hospital, they work with the government or private or doing their private practices. But you graduated and you're not only working in a hospital, but you decided to invent another form of medication to heal people. So what inspired you to come out with this innovation?
So I think my greatest, I have two situations that really made me to see that this is the path, and I have to go along that path. The
Mm,
first thing was, at some point I was diagnosed with a disease condition that required me to take medications every day, and
okay.
I had to take medications for 3 years, until at
Oh,
some point I said, enough is enough. I cannot be a medical doctor. I've never loved taking medications. And here am I in a situation where I have to be taking medications daily. The same thing
mm,
I've always hated when I was small and growing up. I now find myself in a situation where it's like it's a force. And when I said enough is enough, that permitted me, my mind to open up. And I
mm,
think the breaking point was when I lost my mom. I lost my
mm,
mom in 2019. And as a medical doctor already, I took her through the biggest hospitals in the country, and her situation could not be solved. She spent
mm,
several years in suffering and in agony, and it created a lot of trauma in me. And I was asking myself that if I'm a medical doctor and I cannot help my own mother, who
mhm,
else can I help? And I noticed that the limitations that prevented me from being able to help my mother was because there was some detachment from nature. There was a detachment from observing health as a holistic system and approaching it from the direction of nature. And so, because we lacked that, and you know, I began now to dig deep into nature and bring out the protocols of healing, which I wrapped it in a 10-week holistic natural healing program. I always ask people this question, that if I were to place you in the heart of the desert
mm,
and I give you just enough food and water, how long can you survive?
mm,
And if the answer to that question is something that is not satisfactory, then you need holistic natural healing. You need to approach your health in a holistic manner.
mm. I see that how you connected the dot. So, and here you are today with the amazing solution that is already touching lives of hundreds of people and still counting. So, you're not only um, a medical doctor and into natural healing, working with your clients from Africa, in America, Europe, Asia, but you're also a professional keynote speaker. So, how was the connection between medicine and speaking?
Yes, back in medical school, we're used to doing presentations. As a medical student, you need to present your patient, you need to
Mhm,
present a case, you need to do presentations. But that was in the context of medical studies, and so there is no there's no professionalism required. You just need to do. You just need to speak.
mhm,
So uh, when I finished medical school, and I really decided to go deep into the practice of holistic healing, focusing specifically on cardiovascular disease and blood pressure balance. I saw that it is so many people are sick and dying because they lack this knowledge, they lack this information. Cardiovascular disease is the highest killer disease
mm,
in the modern world. And the greatest risk factor to cardiovascular disease is high blood pressure.
mm,
And those are the things that I work with. I work with clients to balance their blood pressure naturally, and it helps them to be able to restore a healthy heart.
mm,
So, to solve this worldwide epidemic, absolutely people need to hear about this, have information about this. And I
mm.
saw that it is important. If people have to get my message, I have to develop that skill to pass this message on such that the maximum number of people can receive my message. Back in medical school, most of our professors, they can deliver a lecture in a very, in a very, I would say, boring manner,
Mhm,
right? But now I'm faced with a public that I need to entice them, in a public that I need to keep them hooked to my message so that they can get this message and know that it is possible to give your body a chance to heal without always depending on treatment. And when we talk about treatment, people rely on medications and
mhm.
supplements mostly. So that is what brought me into public speaking. And I've taken the journey all the way ever since, and that has been a factor that has helped me to be able to reach a good number of people through my communication. Because without communication, basically your message goes nowhere.
I love that. Even before we into the public speaking part of your life, let's talk a little bit about your experience in the medicine school or medicine school. What are the three lessons you learned while studying medicine 6 to 7 years, 8 years, you know, in those facilities or in that particular facility where you study that you can share with the people listening to us now? Practical things you learn within your 8 years or 6, 7 years in the medicine school that you can apply, that anyone can apply in their daily life. So whatever business, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as speakers.
So I had the privilege to study in one of the best medical schools in Cameroon,
Mm-hmm,
the Faculty of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. That is
mm-hmm,
the oldest medical school. And
mm-hmm,
so with that privilege, I was open to diverse cultures. So we had English speaking, we had French speaking people, and we had
mm-hmm,
even foreigners in the faculty. So it was a very mixed faculty. So I would say that the first and the most important thing that I learned in medical school was the fact that the body requires treatment from time to time.
mm-hmm,
The body is designed to uh, need to be treated.
mm-hmm.
So when I talk about the body requiring treatment, it means there are some situations where the body can be trapped in something, and for you to solve that thing, the resources to solve that thing are not inherently present in the body.
Okay.
And so that is where you need to use medications, you need to use supplements, you need to use a medical procedure.
Mm-hmm,
So if you have an infection, for example, you have a pneumonia, a bacterial infection, you have a viral infection, you have a parasitic infection, most of the time the body's resources are not you know able to completely deal with all of this. And so an external treatment can be necessary. So the problem where people abuse this is when you begin to face a challenge, and this challenge, the body's internal resources are able to handle this challenge, but then you rely on medications. The proof that your body's internal resources are able to handle a challenge is that when you begin to take treatment for something and that treatment does not work, you continue taking the treatment, it is not working, then it is just information to let you know that there is something that you're missing out. And that thing that you're missing out is that opportunity to give your body the chance to be able to heal and recover. The
Oh,
second thing
mm,
is about hygiene and sanitation.
okay.
Uh, as humans, for us to be healthy, We need good hygiene and sanitation, and especially in the modern world where there are so many chemicals, so many contaminants, and there is a lot of urbanization, so many people living in compacted spaces, and very little contact with nature. That requires that each human should be able to upgrade their level of hygiene and sanitation, which is going to help them to live a healthy life and to be as strong as possible. The third thing is having a good nutritional practice.
Okay.
Generally, as medical doctors, we were trained or advised to always counsel our clients, our patients. We counsel them on their nutrition. But the problem is we never really taught the practical strategies on say to really guide patients to say this is the exact kind of nutrition that you should adopt. This is the exact kind of nutrition because medicine is something that is not determined by the recommendations in medical practice are not determined by medical doctors. These recommendations are determined by the top powers, the international bodies, the regulatory bodies, and these regulatory bodies sometimes are influenced by financial institutions or business institutions who are pushing their own agenda. And so there can be a nutrition that maybe is favorable for humans, like a plant-based nutrition, which has been proven by so many studies to to show that this is the nutrition that is adequate for humans. But certain aspects of that nutrition cannot be promoted in a kind of way because of like the recommendations cannot come out firmly on that because the international bodies have these conflicts of interest and the rest. So, but I would say that every human needs to take care of their nutrition, of their hygiene and sanitation, and understand that your body might need treatment from time to time, but what your body needs permanently is healing. Your body needs to be given the chance to heal every single day. And when you fail to give your body that chance to heal every single day, your body starts breaking down. And once it has broken down enough, it begins to manifest in the form of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, liver disease, chronic headaches, fatigue, and all other symptoms that you face. Those are signs that your body stopped healing.
Hmm. Hmm. What a lecture. What a consultation session. All right. Thank you so much, Courage. Muba Courage is my good friend and classmate in secondary school. Um, she's saying, Dr. Salah and Mr. Shom, greetings. Okay, great. Let us know which part of the world you're watching us from. Courage is watching us from United States. I don't know exactly the state, but I guess she's
Hello,
watching from
Courage.
United States.
I know Courage from Cameroon.
Oh, beautiful. Nice. Great, great. Let us know which part of the world you're watching us from YouTube or Facebook. And so that's how our path connected, especially with your speaking career. And it's been a great journey together. And I love your motivation to become a speaker, to spread your message to the four corners of the world so that people will not only be limited to get you from the hospital, walls, or office, but you can also meet them wherever you are around the world. And of course, you've written a couple of books or a book. You published a book?
Yes, I've published a book. The title of that book is Bye Bye Chronic Diseases. When I chose this title, it was a very audacious title because in the world of medical communication, apart from the international bodies, no other individual, no matter your medical profession, is permitted to communicate on any disease, any potentially any method that can potentially treat a disease, especially diseases that are classified as chronic diseases. So individuals are not given that authority to communicate on that. If you have to communicate a message that can help people to recover from a chronic illness, you have to put that message in the basket of wellness. You have to put it in the basket of, well-being. So international bodies have made it a bit difficult for genuine people like us who are bringing a fresh message, a holistic message, a natural message to people. And it is for a good reason too, because many charlatans, many quacks, and many fakes, they have abused uh, the opportunity that was given by the coming of the internet to spread a lot of false information on health. And so they have just blanketed the thing and censored everyone. So when you're coming up with a genuine message like us, it's a bit difficult to break through. So I titled the book "Bye Bye Chronic Diseases,"
Mm-hmm.
and in the book it was just to show that it is possible to actually say bye bye to a disease that is considered chronic, because the easiest way to make something impossible is to make somebody believe that that thing is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have conditioned somebody's mind to believe that your disease condition is a chronic disease, means people don't recover from this, then the person is stuck forever, even if there are other possibilities. So I
Mm-hmm.
always let people understand that a disease being chronic or irreversible simply means it is irreversible following the conventional standard. It doesn't mean it is irreversible following every form of method ever. So basically, irreversible simply means it is reversible with the holistic approach.
Oh,
Irreversible means it is reversible with nature.
I love
So
that.
bye bye chronic disease is there to open up the door to let people understand that health is first of all from nature, from the food that we eat,
Mm.
and our biology, our DNA is designed to actually adapt to every situation that we face. And if you begin to create situations that will permit your body to adapt to by producing more health and well-being, your body is going to produce more health and well-being, and disease will not be a challenge.
I love that. So what are the three things that if somebody buys your book, you expect them to go with as take homes?
The book is a three-part book.
Mm.
In the first part, I trace the current dilemma that the medical system finds itself, which makes it impossible for the medical system to solve the problem of chronic disease, which is an ever-growing problem. Can you imagine that 7 out of 10 adults who die of a chronic illness?
Mm.
That is so big. And
Mm.
uh, 6 out of every adult is taking a long-term medication, is on medication.
Wow.
4 out of those 6 are taking at least 2 different medications. So
Mm.
those are general statistics that are given to us by the World Health Organization. And so many people are suffering from chronic illness. So the first part of that book is giving people that idea to see why the world is stuck. And the world is stuck by something I call the uh, savior mentality, the savior mentality or the magic bullet mentality,
Mm.
which which science is always looking for, uh, that magic bullet,
Mm.
that magic substance that will
Mm.
treat a disease. You see,
Mm.
so when it comes to short-term diseases, maybe like infections, like malaria, like a headache, science has solved the code, solved that.
Mm.
There is a specific substance that if you take, it will solve those short-term problems.
Mm.
Now, when it comes to long-term problems that are not caused by something that is identifiable, you cannot
Mm.
use a single chemical substance to solve the problem. But
Mm.
it has been proven in the past that once you find a magic substance that can treat a particular problem, then the first thing that happens is you're able to make a lot of money from there.
Mm.
And the medical system does not want to leave uh, this path, this system of thought, because uh, any other system does not hold the potential for finances to come in. So we keep looking for what is the best treatment, what is the best treatment. But when it comes to chronic disease, it's not a matter of what is the best treatment. Chronic disease
Oh.
needs healing, and healing is something that happens, is your body that conducts healing. And for your body to conduct healing, it needs only natural resources in their original state. But all the medications and the supplements and the rest that science is running after to see which one will treat the chronic disease, those ones cannot help when it comes to chronic disease. They cannot give the body that opportunity that it needs to be able to heal itself. And that is
mm,
where the limitation comes, where we're always looking for the magic bullet. So
mm,
I identified that in part one of the book. Part two of the book is about giving you what is the real cause of chronic disease. And the real cause of chronic disease, I tie it down to a genetic malalignment. And when I talk about genetic disorder or genetic malalignment, I simply refer to the fact that our genetics
mm,
has the capacity to adapt to our lifestyle. We are
mm,
all born with a certain genetic disposition.
mm. Thank you so much, Courage, for watching. We really appreciate, my dear friend. Courage is watching us from Canada. Beautiful. How is Canada this evening or this afternoon? Hope you're doing great with your family. Uh, Thank you so much, Courage, for reaching out. Okay, over to you, Dr. Salah.
Thank you. So our genetics have the capacity to change. Science has proven that it calls it epigenetics. So when people accuse their health condition that, oh, I took this from my mother because she was hypertensive, I took this
Mm,
from my father because he's diabetic. Uh, though those genetic factors exist, our bodies have the capacity to adapt to the environment. And if the
mm,
environment that you have exposed your body to is an environment that causes your body to adapt by bringing out disease, then your body will bring out disease. But if you create an environment that permits your body to adapt by bringing out health, your body will bring out health. So
mm.
in part three of the book, I now show that if you expose your body to, it will actually now permit you to uh, cause your body to adapt by generating that healthy lifestyle, that healthy body, and restore itself. Because every organ in the body has the capacity to renew itself, to heal itself, and to restore health and well-being.
Beautiful. And that brought me to a concept. I'm happy you mentioned the epigenetic. And Doc, have you noticed that when you find yourself in an environment with people who reason a particular way, think a particular way, do things a particular way, act a particular way, behave a particular pattern, you automatically begin to alienate and incline with them and begin to act that way. For instance, if you're living with five broke people, you'll be the sixth broke person in that lineup, in that lineage. If you're living with five successful people, you become the sixth successful person. If you're living with five people who are heavily obese, you'll be the sixth obese person in that group. Right. So, what is the chemistry behind this mind shift? And it's really real. You know, if you just make friends with successful people, automatically become one. What's the chemistry behind this? I think Jim said you're the average of the five people you spend your time with them. You spend your time with
That's
smart
right.
people, you become smart. So, can you help our listeners, uh, plus myself, and explain why does it happen like that? Some of us just
So
express it, but we don't know the chemistry behind it.
yeah. So in my book, Bye Bye Chronic Disease, I identified 14 protocols. These
Okay.
14 protocols are those are ancient protocols
Mhm.
that have proven themselves in the timelessness of history.
Thank you for watching, everybody. This is the Global Speakers Advantage podcast, and we're talking about uh, the story of Dr. Nsalah Power, from a medical doctor to a natural healer and a professional keynote speaker, right? So he's actually sharing with us the idea behind the power of the environment. How can you become a failure by hanging out with failures? And how can you become a success by hanging out with successful people? And of course, he has written a book on what he's talking about, and he's actually taking examples and case studies and practical experiences from his book to share with us. All right, Doc, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Oliver Shaw. So, as I was saying, these 14 protocols are protocols that are required for our human health and well-being.
Mm,
One of these protocols is what I call the mind protocol, and the mind is something that is very important for human health and well-being and for human life. So I summarize all these 14 protocols into 4 resources, and the mind is the first resource, your emotions are the second resource, nutrition is
mm,
the fourth resource, and then having a lifestyle that obeys the 4 laws of nature is the fourth resource. So our mind we have our mind to permit us to be able to analyze the environment that we are and
mm,
mirror the environment that we are. Our brain has certain cells, we call them neurons. Those are the cells of the brain that actually mirror our environment, mirror the things that people do around us. So if we
mm,
grow up in an environment and we see our parents act in a certain way, speak in a certain way, talk in a certain way, behave in a certain way, we begin to mirror that as we grow up because our brains are designed to permit us to survive. And the only way we can survive is to attach ourselves to a community, to attach ourselves to a system. And so we're always looking for that comfort, that security. So we are designed with that. And because we're designed with that, the body is now given this capacity to be able to blend with the society that we find ourselves in. So when you are in a certain milieu, in a certain environment, there's that tendency to adapt to that environment. There's that tendency to copy what that environment is. That is an unconscious activity because you are designed that way. Now,
okay.
if you want to either take the values of that society or not, that now you have to now consciously decide that, okay, I don't want this or I want this. But if
Mm,
you don't consciously take that decision, your body is designed to automatically mirror that environment, absorb
mm,
the contents of that environment. And it is bad for you if what your mind captures is something that will keep you in chains, will keep you stuck. So you have to be always conscious that the environment, you're so conscious about what you're catching that it doesn't keep you stuck. Because if you're not conscious, your mind will
mm,
mirror your environment automatically because that is how it is built, and you
mhm,
end up being stuck because you have been fed with the wrong information.
My goodness. It's a bad thing to grow up in a broke family, bro. uh, or to grow up in a country
Well,
where everybody blames the government.
it's the good thing about life is there's always a second chance
Mm,
when people begin to awaken and their consciousness begin to rise. They have a
mm,
choice at that time to say, okay, I want to make a U-turn. Though it's a lot, it takes a lot more effort to actually
yeah.
successfully do that U-turn, but
Mm.
it is possible, and it's a great chance because life always gives second chances.
I love that. That's so powerful. In one of my interviews, I shared with Mimi before. I said, when people are frustrated, they become very dangerous. And when a human being is awakened, he becomes unstoppable. What do you have to say to the people listening to us right now? And somehow, by design or default, they found themselves in families where nobody appreciates them. Everything they do, they look down on them, they criticize them, they insult and abuse them, and nothing seems to be coming out from what they're struggling to do. They are in a country where the system is very, very corrupted, bad government, and things just seem to be moving left. You know, what do you have to say to somebody who is battling a bad environment right now, watching us? And that second chance to talk about how can he or she come up and find himself or herself in that second opportunity, that second chance?
I think that everybody's life is in their own hands.
Mm,
Everybody is responsible for their life.
Yeah.
And what happens to you is what you decide.
Mm.
You eventually decide. We are not a victim of anybody. We are not a victim of any system. It is true that we are influenced by
Mm.
the environment that we are, but at some point, it is our choice
Mm.
because in most countries where the government is corrupt, the
Mm.
system is not working, and people
Okay, we can get it up. Go ahead.
you're getting me.
Yep.
At the end of the day, uh, the major challenge is the desire, the will of that person to develop and to improve. There are
Mm.
people that have left from the poorest situations, from the most difficult situations, from the most hopeless situations, and they have been able to make it. So in life, it's not much about what are the external conditions. It's about
Mm.
what is the internal condition, what is the drive, what is pushing you. And if that internal condition defines a certain future, defines a certain outcome, no matter how difficult your immediate environment is, no matter how corrupt the government is, no matter how bad the system is, that outcome that is designed from within, you eventually achieve it. So human life is first of all what burns from within you. And I would say that if somebody is in a difficult situation, you need to stop blaming the situation, the circumstances, and start
Yeah.
looking at what is it within you. What are
Mm.
your dreams? Do you even have any dreams? Because most of these people, they have no dream at all. They don't have any ambitions. What are you
Mm.
dreaming, and what little steps are you doing today so that you can reach those dreams before you are blaming the system, before you are blaming the circumstances? And always focus more on uh, the success stories. There are people who have left that same situation, that same village, and they have succeeded, right? But if you look at the problem and the challenges, it will prevent you from going ahead. The opportunity actually lies beyond the challenge, and if you are not able to see through beyond the challenge, it will be
Hmm.
difficult for you to go beyond that opportunity, go beyond the limitations.
I love that. That reminds me. I listened to a video by Myron Gordon. He explained what he just said in a like this is why he was saying that when you see challenges, make sure that you open your palms, see the opportunities through the challenges. Because
That's very
when
interesting.
anytime there are challenges, don't close your face. See the challenges, see the opportunities across the challenges. And I
That's
love
very
the way you put it.
interesting.
Yeah. So and that is how we cross our path through public speaking. And you're one of the most fascinating speakers I've ever seen in my life. Like amazing. Like share with us your journey going through the public speaking program that you went through with the Texas Institute of Public Speaking coaching program. How was it, and um, how was the experience?
Yeah, it was a very powerful experience. I think the first time I took a training in public speaking was with uh, Coach Professor Akisa,
At least
and
spiritually.
the training was certified by you.
Mhm.
You were part of the.
Yeah, I remember.
He got his authority, his certifying authority from
Mhm.
African Institute of Public Speaking, which
Oh
you
yeah,
were running it. Yeah,
I remember
and
back
then
then.
yeah. So it was a course which took me a little step, but then I needed something that could ground me more, that could really give me that international uh, positioning and grounding that is
Mm.
required for the standard of intervention and the influence that I need. And that is what brought me now to the Texas Institute of Public Speaking,
Mhm.
because you know I've seen you, Oliver Shum, what you have been able to do, and it has been quite amazing. And I want to, mirror that progress, that expertise, and the rest. And so I enrolled in this Texas Institute of Public Speaking, and the training was powerful. I think in the course of the training, a lot of my message was refined. I was able to understand more how to position myself internationally, and also grab international opportunities. And one thing that I'm grateful for is that one of my objectives was to be able to get international opportunities, and by the time I ended the training, I was already in line for 2 international opportunities. So
Wow.
that is so massive and powerful for me, because every single exposure
Hmm.
is means lives are being saved, means people are
Yeah.
being taken out the of the trap of the chains of
Hmm.
chronic illness, where they have been for so long, thinking
Hmm.
that there's no solution for them. But here am I coming to them and telling them that just with their mindset, just with their emotional state, just with their nutrition, just with their lifestyle, they are able to restore their health naturally. I don't use anything more than this. I only
Wow.
guide people and inspire them to let them know that there is a healing mindset, and once you develop that healing mindset, the body heals. There's an emotional state for healing, and once you're able to lock onto that emotional state and be consistent with it, your body heals very rapidly. There is a nutrition for healing. Once you are able to adopt that nutrition and only find plant-based nutrition, your body heals. There is a lifestyle for healing, which is according to the 4 laws of nature. If you are able to integrate these 4 laws of nature, good night's sleep, nighttime fasting, exposure to nature, daily physical work, and showing love, that ingredient of health, which is showing love. Many people don't know that showing love is an ingredient for healing. Once these things are integrated into lifestyle, I see people witness extraordinary transformations that they cannot explain. One elderly woman, she's about 75 to 80 years, who went through my program, she told me that she could not believe that it is these same things, it is this same food that she has been eating, this same life that she has been living, that she has relived that life within a short time, just following my guidance, and it is bringing healing. So there is a lot of power in the ordinary things that we do, but once we know how to structure it in a way that can generate, allow the body that chance that the body has always been looking for to heal, the body will heal itself, and you'll be surprised what the body can do when it is given the chance to heal itself.
I love that, bro. That you're doing a great job, Dr. Salah, and that's wonderful, so powerful, and I'm
Okay.
so proud of you. And by the way, thank you for for choosing us to come back for the public speaking classes and coaching and all of that. And we you carry a lot in you, and the world needs to hear you, bro. The world needs to hear
Thank
you.
you.
And great job, great job. So moving forward, you are starting a new business. What are your plans, expansion plans? Do you plan to expand to the United States markets and beyond?
Of course, so far I've worked a lot locally in Cameroon,
Hmm.
and I've refined the system. And so I've made my program, which is a 10-week holistic natural healing program,
Mm-hmm.
where we enroll clients. They go through the program for 10 weeks. We guide them, and they perform what they are doing, and it permits the body to heal. So we have made the program entirely an online program, so people can follow this program anywhere they find themselves in the world. We have a
Hmm.
website, www.fotenon.com. Fotenon.com. On that
Hmm.
website, uh, we have the system put in place where somebody can easily go through the program. And
Hmm.
so we are expanding our reach into other African countries, and especially to the United States of America. So for now,
Hmm.
we are targeting Southeast USA, because from our statistics, we see that the southeastern region of the US is heavily hit with chronic illnesses,
Hmm.
especially heart-related diseases,
mm,
like high blood pressure, stroke, and other stuff which are
mm,
related to the heart. So
mm.
we are going to be starting with that region in the USA, and then we're going to spread eventually around the country. So it's a massive dream. Our dream is to be the driving force in a world that is flourishing in health, well-being, and harmony with nature. So we are actually want to expand into the rest of the world, but we are following a step-by-step strategy. The message that we have is not for a few; it's for everyone, and it is every day there is an urgency that new people should hear about this. They should know that holistic natural healing is not a miracle. It is the result of working with the body instead of against it. Many people have worked against their bodies for years, giving their bodies chemicals that the body does not want, allow themselves to drift into mental state that their body does not want, allow themselves to drift into emotional states that do not permit healing. And so we have fought against the body, and now it's time to allow the body to do its job. It's God's given job, which is to heal itself, to restore itself, and to keep you in good health so that you can be able to perform the work that you have done. I was watching a video the other day, and someone said, uh, once when you are sick, there's nothing else is important. It's your health.
Yep.
But once you are not sick, you have 10,000 things that are important.
Mm,
That just means that if your health problem is capable of dissolving every other thing that you want to do, then
mm,
it means that you should pay particular attention to keep this body healthy. Because if this body is not healthy, you will not want any other thing. But
mm.
once this body is healthy, then you can now begin to explore different things. You will now say, "Oh, I have this priority, I have these goals, I have these plans." But you will not say that if your health is down.
Wow. That sounds like your parting words for this particular podcast. Thank you so much, Dr. Salah Power, for being my guest for today at the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. Do you have your any parting words as we close the curtains of this conversation, please?
So I want to let my audience understand that your body was designed to heal itself naturally
Mm,
without necessarily depending on uh, man-made products, medications, supplements. Your body can heal itself. Your
mm,
body, yes, needs treatment, and treatment requires medications, but your body needs treatment just a few times in a year, but your
mm.
body needs to heal every single day. So always give your body that chance to heal. Oliver
I
Shom,
love
I want
that.
to thank you very much for this opportunity.
Mm,
It's a very great pleasure to be here. You have always, held my hand and made
mm,
sure that I hit that next goal, I hit that next target, and I'm very grateful because you're more than a big brother to me. You're really, you know, somebody who is you're more than a coach. You're more than a coach. You're really, someone who takes my dream at heart, and I'm very
mm.
grateful for that. I want to thank you. I thank your audience, and I pray that as we have, started at this point, let us hit the next level and hit the next target. Thank you very much.
Amen. I can say amen to that because
Thank you.
we're definitely hitting the next target.
Yeah.
God's been our helper. Big thanks goes to Courage, Move Back Courage, my good friend from high school. Courage is watching us from Canada. Um, Kingsley from Cameroon. Uh, Kingsley, another Kingsley. Oh my God. He said, Dr. Salah is a very dynamic speaker. Of course, yes, yes, he is a dynamic speaker. And that was how we saw it for today, dear friend. Once again, thank you, Doctor, for coming. We're looking forward to have you somewhere in the future, again, at the Global Speakers Advantage Podcast. We wish you good luck as we scale up to the different continents of the world. with what God is
Thank you.
using you to do in the world. Uh,
Thank
extend
you.
our regards to your family and have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Thank you, and same to you.
Awesome, bro. Great.
Mm.
And so, dear audience, enjoy this um, except as we close the seconds of this conversation. You have lived through powerful moments. You have overcome and you have grown. Now it's time to tell your story and get booked for it. At Talks, we are launching a powerful platform called Tell Us Your Story. And it's moment for you to shine. We will work with you one on one and coach you to be able to share your story with the world. And we will take your story, edit it, and list it in our platform, Talks. Let the world hear what you've been through and why it matters now more than ever. Spots are limited. If you're ready to turn your story into your stage, now is the time.